So
And
if,
that's the funny part.
sorry?
And that's the funny part, because actually I'm doing this since 1 year, and that's why I was my question to you. Maybe in this time could be easier or difficult, because that's exactly what I'm doing since 1 year, finding a co-founder where I give him the 10% of the company.
But let's not talk about how much you give. It's like you're looking for a co-founder,
Yeah.
Let's say you do not have a pile of money sitting, and you say, I have my idea that in the future that idea will be worth something if we're able to execute. And my currency are the shares of my company. So if I find someone that all the people that I need to be able to execute my plan, the currency will be worth more. And I'm willing to share the value of that currency by giving a piece of it to each one of those co-founders. Actually, if you're able to do that, you will create more wealth. Okay. And I think the way the world is going right now, you probably will be able to do that easier, because a lot of people, what the credit excess created was a lot of people were working on a project that didn't make sense, but because some people, not everyone, some people had access to capital very cheap. So they had bad ideas, but they had a lot of money, and you had a lot of good talent working on stupid ideas. So right now, that those ideas won't make sense, and I think we're gonna go through process of workout or restructuring, how you want to call it. A lot of talent will be freed, and the way we get out of everything that's coming is more people getting together, using their creativity to actually create solution for that new world we're gonna. Because what's going on with COVID, it's gonna change the dynamics of the market. And when I say the market, not only stock market, I mean, it's going to change the dynamic of the world economy. It's going to change the dynamics of transaction. It's going to change the dynamic of how people relate together. So that infrastructure will be needed. It's a new way. We will need to operate in a new way. So young people with ideas that can connect together and trust each other will be needed to create that new infrastructure of the way we need to relate. And this is an opportunity. You understand? Because all you need is goodwill. All you need is getting together and create your own currency, which is actually your shares. Even though I know with cryptocurrency that will create another layer of being able to create that currency in certain ecosystem. But just sticking to understanding that if it's not about access to credit, it's about creativity. So it's about network, it's about working together with people, it's about convincing, it's about building product, and all that is human capital, and it's already existing. And that human capital is going to be freer right now, because a lot of bad processes, a lot of bad products, and a lot of sectors like the nightlife industry is going to change. And you're going to need new type of way to relate, new type to relate to all that infrastructure, and it will need to be built. So even though it's going to be painful, my friend, I think it's worth finding people you can work with, that is trustworthy. And that's just the way it is. And if it takes you 1 year, I don't think that's too bad. I'll give you an example. So I've done multiple businesses. Some went well, some didn't went so well. But I can tell you, or I went through many relationships before I got married. Most of my relationship lasts two years, so you might call that a failure. But in the end, when you get married and you have children, you say, "Wow, I've learned so much in the past relationship that actually makes me more aware of mistake I shouldn't make in that relationship." So working with people, finding relationships, it's what it's about. And going through the understanding of your mistakes so you can grow through it, what it's about. And that's one of the good aspect of building businesses. It's the people you get a chance to work with, because they give you a chance to work on yourself.
About network, I'm telling what I did through this year. I was looking for people here in Zurich, for people in Lisbon, in Portugal, in London, and in Stockholm. And when I was out of Zurich, for example, in London, I had this feeling of people that were more interested in listening.
Yes.
So maybe it's also about maybe the network that I'm looking for. Maybe it's not here in Switzerland, because maybe they're here for another network, maybe for for the bank or some for the finance. So maybe you think finding this network, it's meaning also going out from the country.
So this is one of the thing that I talk about in a podcast I did, which is network over country. And definitely the way the world has been built over centuries is that certain people who think a certain way live in certain places, physically, certain places. For example, there's a reason I'm here in New York, because in New York, it's most likely that I will find the kind of people I want to talk to, the kind of people that can help me figure out the things I needed to figure out to go to my next level of building the things I want to build before I die. So that has an aspect. So if you're comparing Zurich to London, London definitely has a more tech-oriented mentality than Zurich. A more entrepreneurial, tech-oriented. Because I wouldn't say that Zurich is not entrepreneurial, because it probably has more insurance companies or more way to build insurance than anywhere else in the world. So. But again, you can say compete with Lloyd's in London. But again, it's a different game. But I wouldn't say. But yes, definitely there is something like that. So I moved all my family to New York for that reason. But now I think in the next 6 to 12 months, because of COVID, there is a windows of opportunity that people accept that you don't need to be physically in certain places to try to build that network. So I think probably now you have more online opportunities to try to build those bonds, because everybody accept, okay, Davide cannot come to London, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have anything
possible.
Exactly. Okay. Because COVID made it impossible, but that doesn't mean he's not committed to build something, because the fact that you move your physical body to a place tells a lot of signaling about how committed you are to the idea, how committed you are to make things happen. And it's a very big signal. And even psychologically, it puts you in a different place. It's like me moving to New York, living where I was with my previous company, and moving city, moving country, that gives you a certain energy. You know what? I'm here for a reason and I'm going to find it. But now you cannot really do that easily for the next 6 to 12 months, maybe. So I think everybody understands that, okay, it's okay to have that type of connection through online. And I think that's going to create a different dynamic and make things easier in terms of wealth creation from city to city. Like if you look at my business right now, I'm probably the only one in New York, and we're like a team of probably 10 guys working and one girl. We only have one girl so far. And she's also in New York, yeah. But if you look at it, the whole team. I have people in France. I have people. It's like the whole team. No one is at the same place. So we were already set up like that. But I think more and more people are gonna be able to set up like that right now, and it's okay, and still build the bonds. You know what I mean? So I think you'll have to find your way, but. For someone who's starting, I think it's the best time to start, because a lot of talent are going to be free from stupid ideas. For some reason, were being funded, and they shouldn't have been funded. And that will create more opportunity to actually go back to that understanding that. In the productivity equation, the for capital is human capital. And usually when you get the money is to pay talent. So it's like having access to people under a right relationship is way more important than the money. Actually, one of the criteria to give you the money is who's going to work with you.
The thing is, Will, I'm now like in a bubble to to find out the why, I'm receiving all this no, because how I told you before, when I was in London, it was I saw that the people, they were more interested in listening to the idea, but at the same time there was always like, yes, it's okay, but I need the money, and for me it's like that's not the only reason to tell me no. And a couple of times I told this guy it's maybe about the product, about the service that you don't like, and everyone had the same answer, it's about the money, because I'm working 100%, and I need to do this part-time. So it's like they have not like uh, it's like they need an insurance, because they're afraid of doing something like that. They're afraid of doing the step to be a co-founder of a new startup, of a new business model for this kind of industry. And it's like it's something I'm telling myself, why are people telling no all the times? It's about myself, that how I tell the story. It's about the product. It's really about only the money, that the salary. So it's like, it's like I'm moving, but I'm not doing any meters forward.
I understand. I understand. And so let's say it that way. You can still work on all the things you said. For example, you can still work on how you communicate better with more confidence, so people trust faster that you know what you're talking about. That's one aspect of it. Another aspect of it, you can still work on researching the market better. So when you talk to people, you have numbers to support your hypothesis about why there is an opportunity for this market for a product like that. You can actually talk to clients, possible clients, and ask them, okay, what's the problem? How much will you pay for something like that? So all that work you can do on yourself.
Yes.
And all that work you can do on the market. Okay? That's one aspect. But then you have to confront the job market, which is you have to be lucky enough to find someone that is interested in the business you're interested in. But also, you have to understand that we were at the top in the tech market. Okay? So where every tech talent is already assigned to projects. That's the reality we've been in. And big companies, big techs, we know them all, are hoarding people. So that means they even hire people they don't need just for those people.
That happens. I met a guy in London. He was working with Apple. He was also a full stack developer, and he said, well, he was very honest, but he told me, David, I'm working for Apple. Why do I need working for you? And I was there like, well, you're right. I'm not Apple right now. So maybe it's also, sorry that I interrupt you. It's also maybe finding a guy with circumstances that maybe working for me opens an opportunity for him then in the future.
Well, that's the path I was taking. So you have all the big tech hoarding capital, human capital, even if they don't need it. Okay? Most of the M&A activity you've seen are defensive move. That means they actually buy companies to kill the product but stay with the team, so the team doesn't build a product that compete with theirs. Okay, and then they take that loss on their balance sheet and they deduce it from income taxes. But what's happening is that big tech companies and people with access to capital, they know that a defensive move is to take smart people out of the job market. Even if I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, so at least they don't go and work with someone like Davide and build a product that will actually take market share from me. Okay, so that's where I'm saying we might enter a period right now where more talent will be released in the market, and they will be more willing to listen to, okay, how can I be part of something new, even if I don't have that much money yet because I don't have a job, but I have enough money for 3 months to test an idea very quickly and put it out there. So I think for people trying to build new things, it might be a very good opportunity. And actually, this is where I'm very optimistic that even if we are in conditions from an end of debt cycle, very similar to the depression of 1930s, but what we didn't have in the 30s is the level of mobility of capital, of human capital through online platform to work remotely together. And we didn't have technology with very short cycle of testing idea to market. All those things didn't exist. So that means even if we go to a very big depression, but I think it's more like a change of guard. I see it like it's the whole system dying, the old one, and an opportunity for a new wave of building, a new wave of interaction to be actually being built. So I think it's going to be an incredible time for entrepreneurs, for young people that have to okay, the old system no longer represent the old way of the dynamics of the economy, no longer represent where we are right now. Even if you look at in terms of climate, in terms of environment, we need to build products that are more connected to helping us stay longer on this planet. We cannot be like before, just maximizing short-term profit, but then we're discounting long-term survivalship. And that's a very stupid equation. Why do you want the money if you don't want to have a world to spend it in? But again, but I think those things will start self-balancing very easily if more people like you actually now connect to each other, because less stupid product, less stupid companies will be receiving cheap money, and they'll have to. That's one of the consequences of low interest rate. It creates that distortion into hoarding capital on bad product just because the guy with the bad product is more connected to the credit market, which is having access to capital, and smart people end up saying, you know what, let me hang on to the money, and let me forget that the money is only valuable because I'm smart or I'm hardworking and I'm willing to do the work. So in reality, you only make money because you're hardworking and working for very hard to figure out solutions. So don't get confused by the money. But again, it's like I have to remind myself. So I'm married with kids, so I have to remember you need to take care of your cash flow, but do not forget also that it's about building wealth, which is about partnering with incredible people and build solution and build product that people love. So you can interact with them. And I think that balance will start having more weight right now. So there's going to be a lot of pain, but I think it's good to now go on LinkedIn, create your profile. It's good to now work on your presentation. It's good now to be writing very short text on Twitter, very short text on your LinkedIn, saying, hey, this is what I'm about. This is what I want. Why? So at least you start making noise out there to people who are interested. Hey, I'm looking to do this because I am in this sector, which is one of the sectors that's going to be completely destroyed in the way it's going to operate because the old way won't work. I've been in it. I know what's missing. I want to build it. It's going to be one of the first sectors because people need to be entertained, but entertainment will be different. So you are actually in the cutting edge of, helping people. How do we build new things on entertainment online? There's so much thing that is going to do with virtual reality that you might end up having a wave party sitting at your house, 3D, Zoom sound. Exactly. All those things are going to happen because if you're not going to build them, someone is going to build them. So what I'm trying to say is it's time for you to actually make more sexy whatever it is that you want to build, and advertise. I'm looking for people to help me build it.
Now, sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
I did my business model, before all this with COVID happened,
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
this business model, what I have right now,
Yes.
situation will not work anymore,
Yes.
So you're telling me, tell me if I'm wrong, that maybe I need also to like write a new business model
Yes,
completely.
you embrace the new, my friend. Embrace what's happening.